well, I'm definitely gonna get my exercise in today because I went the wrong way and gotta go back up the hill to get into this place. But like looking in, and this is not gonna give you a good view right now, unfortunately, but the park itself looks pretty nice. Like they maintain it really well, so that's nice. Yeah, it's no Machu Picchu obviously, but it's got a lot of character from what I see so far, so it's really dope. I like the locals in Ecuador. They're very friendly. People are not rude or anything like that. So yeah, gotta keep on trucking. All right, we made it. All right, so we'll bust a move in here. I'm guessing after that you kind of get into the park. So we're gonna find out. All right, so I lost the backpack. But very beautiful place. Typical of many museums in Latin America that I've found. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna give you guys a bird's eye. Alright, so I was abruptly stopped trying to take these videos inside the museum, which I guess from a perspective it's not really too uncommon. But yeah, this is it so far. It's beautiful for sure. I'm not sure how or what this building is for, but I'm sure maybe perhaps that was the old museum or old scientific study building for some reason, or rather something like that. But it's beautiful for sure, and it's just cool to be out here like in history. You know, like these things have been here for so long. Like this staircase right here, it's like that thing has been there for a long time, and I am walking up it, so it's pretty dope. It's just like kind of the foundation of culture, history, because culture really is just a continuation of historical trends and kind of cultural identifiers, music, art, everything of that sort, which they displayed a lot of really good art inside that museum. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to take any videos, or maybe you saw a couple images before I was told to turn off my phone. But yeah, like this stuff, like it doesn't look like much, you know, especially when you've gone to places like Machu Picchu or any type of Mayan ruins in Mexico or in Guatemala or anything like that. But it's pretty impressive when you're here, I promise you. Like, and it's really awesome that they keep it up so well. They have people here maintaining this complex and making sure that it's up to par and good to, you know, kind of keep this history intact and to keep this tradition alive. It's just dope to see stuff like this and kind of understand people have been doing these things and establishing civilizations and developing culture for thousands of years. And this is obviously not thousands of years old. The Inca Empire, I guess in respect to other ancient civilizations, was not that old at the time of the conquest of, I think, Pasado. I'm not too sure. I'd have to read up on that when he conquered the Incans in Cajamarca. I think that's what it was when they captured Atahualpa, which is a really sad story. But point being is, you know, culture has been developing individually around the globe for thousands of years. Nonetheless, civilizations thrive. And, you know, it's a sad story how things come to an end, but you know, things. Oh, that is incredible. That's interesting. So I am Ratona, lugar de culto y veneración de las Wakucanas de prestigio, emparentadas con Zapan Inca, que eran exhibidos públicamente durante los principales festivales. So this is essentially, this is where they would do their rituals, their cult rituals and their celebrations for their festivals on. Okay, well, they got it in English too, so I can read that for you. Place of worship and veneration of the prestigious Wakucana, related to the Zapan Inca, which were publicly exhibited during the main religious festivities of the Inca. From a symbolic perspective, it represented the Ucapacha, excuse my mispronunciation, or world below, which forms a trilogy with the Kepacha, or earthly world, plus the Hanampacha, known as the celestial region and abode of the gods. And for perspective, this right here, that symbol, the Incan symbol, you can see, if I can get in there, so it has 3 levels. When I was in Peru, for some reason it escapes my mind what the name of this symbol is called, and I've known this many times before, and it's a shame that I forget it now. But the symbology is the 3 worlds, and equally there's 12 flat surfaces, if I'm not mistaken. This is explained to me to symbolize the 12 months of the year, or how that correlates with our modern calendar. But the 3 steps that are exhibited throughout this symbol, and I feel so ashamed that I can't think of the name of it. And once I do, I'm going to make another video. These 3 symbols, these 3 flat surfaces, they represent the underworld, the living world that we live in the celestial world, and in Incan tradition. And again, if I have an expert to correct me, please do. The bottom level is symbolized by the serpent, by the snake. The living realm that we live in is symbolized by the puma, the jaguar, and the top level is signified by the condor. The celestial level is signified by the condor, and the condor is very important in Incan tradition, obviously, as well as the puma, the jaguar. And from down here, you kind of get a better perspective. That's, I would say, probably at least 75 feet tall. And I'm not sure the purposes of the flat areas. I know in parts of Peru, they use these descending levels in some of their complexes for agricultural development. And equally, they were obviously extremely knowledgeable when it came to irrigation systems and things of this nature. Well, if you see. So long. It's definitely beautiful. I still find that tunnel thing so fascinating. And again, it's these ancient cultures had such emphasis on symbology and making that living symbology of entering into a tomb or something to replicate the experience of entering the underworld, to give praise to their ancestors, to give praise to the past, to celebrate their modern cultural traditions in hopes to honor the gods, to eventually ascend into the celestial realm, and live, you know, I guess, the truth of our existence. So it's very interesting. This complex is very cool. No doubt on that. This is random, but so interesting. When I was in Jordan, because in all these cultures, you will see their symbology in their textiles, in their, obviously in their petroglyphs, and everything that you can see in their ruins and everything, but living in their textiles. But when I was in Jordan, I specifically bought a rug. I was in Petra. I bought a rug that had that same symbol, that symbol that I showed you, that is the most important symbol, the Incan cross, in Incan theology. I had that same symbol, and when I bought it, the gentleman, he explained to me that represented like some kind of desert lotus flower. And I thought that was so interesting because, you know, across completely different parts of the world, across completely different cultures, you find the same symbology. And I think that these symbolisms derive from maybe a single source, maybe a celestial source that people tap into psychologically or supernaturally. And it's extremely compelling to think that they may have been seeing the same things. What's up, buddy? Yeah. And while it's very, very cool to see these birds, it's really, really sad that they're in such a small cage. Because what a majestic creature. The black-chested buzzard eagle. Incredibly looking. Definitely kind of intimidated looking too. Those birds of prey always have that kind of effect though. Oh, we got these guys. Parakeets. What's up, y'all? I wish I had some food to give you. Hey. Uh-oh, getting freaky out here. Okay, I'll leave y'all to be. And this is a really cool complex. And again, let me reiterate that this is free. This is a free thing. And we got these guys, the macaws. Obviously, extremely famous bird. Damn, that guy is up there. I don't know if you guys can see this guy. What an interesting kind of hair. Oh, I don't know if he likes me critiquing his technique to hold on. But anyway. Oh, damn, getting wild over there too. All right, I'm gonna leave him be. I'm gonna be stuck on the fact, it's right there too. I'm gonna be stuck on the fact that I cannot remember the name of that. I'm gonna make a video the second I'm done with this and get back to Wi-Fi, because I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna feel, oh, the Chacana. The Chacana, that's what it's called. Oh my gosh, okay, well, there we go. So that symbol is, if not one of, it is the most important symbols in the Incan tradition, the Chacana. That was the name, and now I remember. So yeah, there's a lot of living history even here too. Some of these guys. What's up? Can I go? ¿Me puedo pase? No? Oh, what's up, buddy? Ooh. Well, I guess let passe here. Look, there's a bunch of shit on the ground. Oh, and I can't go up here because it's gated off. That's unfortunate. Nice little view though. What's up? It's kind of cool that these critters just live symbiotically out here. There's a little duck over there. What's up, dude? I think I'm gonna walk around a little bit more. Bust a move. I'm sure y'all are getting bored of this shit, so. So this is pretty cool. Yeah. It's ancient history is just very, very cool to learn about and understand, and I think it's very important to understand perspective on where we stand in modern times and how culture develops. And you know, it's a shame how things went down in history and how things were overtaken and cultures were destroyed. But the sad reality is, if you look at ancient history, the ones that were colonized are the ones that colonized others. The Incans in Peru, I'm sure throughout Bolivia, but I'm specifically in Peru, that I'm aware of. Yeah, they forced people into assimilation with the Incan culture, either through bribery or through war. And those that did not assimilate met the alternative, which was war. A perfect example would be the Chachapoya, which lived in the kind of mountainous, like cross between the mountainous and Amazonian regions of Peru, and an extremely interesting culture that I'm not specifically knowledgeable of, and I'm not a tenured historian by any regard. But these people were extremely interesting. They built their homes deep into the forest, deep in the mountains, They didn't build complexes as grand as the Incas did, but they're known for their mummy-style sarcophaguses that they would build in the remote forests on cliff sides and almost impenetrable territories, and still baffles people today how they were able to accomplish these things. But my point of this story was that while those who were suffered colonialism, definitely that plight should be sympathized with. It is without a doubt, and all major cultures throughout the world, anyone that was standing at the time of the Spaniards' arrival had subjected other indigenous groups to the same torture that befell on them. And that's just a fact of history. My point is not to take anything away from the colonialization and the wrongdoings that were done by the Spaniards and the Portuguese and the French and other nations of Europe on the New World or the Western Hemisphere. However, the sad reality is people have been subjecting other people to torturous practices and savagery since the beginning of time. And it's a true shame. And I find the symmetry of this right here to be extremely interesting. And I'd be curious to see what that symbolizes, 'cause I'm sure it has a meaning.